task is to give you a brief remark on the 50 Days of Activism. The 50 Days of Activism is an activity planned by the Ministry of Education Department of Youth. In observance of World Health Day on the 7th of April, the department will be holding a youth walk and mini health fair. This is to commemorate the 50 Days of Activism. 50 Days of Activism is birthed out of a discussion we had with the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education, Department of Culture, Youth and Sport. The 50 Days of Activism will showcase the regional personnel participating in 50 days of health awareness, raising awareness on non-communicable diseases and mental health. This activity will be done in collaboration with the Ministry of Health. We have the mental health unit, we have the men's health department, food policy division, dental health care unit, and the chronic disease unit. This will be starting on the 7th of April with a walk starting from the Ministry of Education, 21 Brick Dam. We also will be having a mini fair. This will be at the National Cultural Center Tarmac starting at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Coupled with that, there is a schedule of events that will be taking part in regions 1 to 10 at the various locations. A copy can be given to the various departments who request a copy. And this will be starting on the 6th, which is a lunch today, and we will be ending on the 26th of May, Independence Day.
Just a quick insight to the calendar of activities. As you are aware, the entire month of May, there are several activities that are planned which will be coordinated throughout the length and breadth of the country. But at this time, I would just want to focus on some of the major ones for your notification. On the 4th of May, the National Sports Commission will host its annual Sports Award. This event will be held at the National Cultural Center, of which our respective sportsmen and women from the various disciplines will be awarded. The expectation is that His Excellency the President will be in attendance and will present the award to the best sportsman and sportswoman of the year. On the 15th of May, the Ghana Football Federation will be hosting an international football friendly. This will be held at the National Stadium on the 15th of May. The international friendly will be between Canada and Guyana participation. On the 19th to the 22nd of May, the Ministry of Tourism and Minister Cassin Hughes will be hosting the Ghana Jubilee Festival, May 19th to the 22nd. This festival will see several evenings of activities, such as the first night will be a night of spiritual upliftment, and this will be held on Thursday, the 19th of May. The second night will feature an evening of Guyanese, indigenous people, culture, folk, music, etc. The third night will feature the Night of the Legends. This will see a large participation of our very own artists, local and abroad, participating in an evening filled with music, song, and dance. On Sunday the 22nd, will feature Generation Next, which will feature our local artists such as Jomo Primo, Vanilla, Shelly G, Lisa Punch, Adrian Dutchin, Kwesi Ace, Tamika Marshall, Heatwave Band, Big Red, amongst others, will be featured at this event. This again will be the Jubilee Festival, which is hosted by the Ministry of Tourism, May 19th to the 22nd. This will then bring us to what we dub as the Mega 4. Mega 4 meaning the 26th of May to the 29th, in which corporate Guyana will be hosting some mega concerts. On the 26th, the Ghana Telephone and Telegraph Company will be hosting its mega concert. This will be held at the National Stadium. On the 27th, Ansa McCall will be hosting a similar concert titled Back to the Future. This event will feature artists such as Yellowman, Sprague Benz, Shaka Demas, and Pliers, to name a few. On the 28th, Saturday the 28th, Banks DIH will be hosting its mega concert, of which details will be shared subsequently. On the 29th, Hits and Jams, in collaboration with Extra Energy, will be hosting its feature event, and this will be held at the HJ Waterworld. Of course, all of these events are free to patrons. However, there is a small item that one would have to purchase. For example, Banks DIH will share details in terms of purchasing a beverage, and persons will receive a ticket to these concerts. That's, in a nutshell, some of the major events that will be had as it relates to the month of May. But as I mentioned before, throughout the length and breadth of the country, there are many events being hosted to accommodate safety.
I happen to be the chairperson of the academic working group, and we were charged with planning the academic side of the program to celebrate 50th year as an independent state. Among the activities we have planned are, firstly, at the beginning of March, we launched a national creative writers competition, which we hope would serve as a warm-up, indicating to persons in the creative sector that there was a role for them and giving them an opportunity to participate. That creative writing competition featured poetry, short story, and a drama. There will be a national symposium at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, the 23rd to the 24th. Aligned with that symposium will be a number of pictorial exhibitions, a food mart, and a literary open-air exhibition. Another feature event will be Around Guyana in 50 Days. This is an activity that will see the libraries combining with a number of creative artists, poets, short story writers, artists, dramatists, traveling around Guyana, making stops, interacting with the communities, exchanging documents, books, and in general, broadcasting creative activity around the country. There will be a series of literary fairs around Guyana. We have planned, I think, 15 literary activities. Among them would be playwriting. Playwriting would be held one in Essequibo, one in Demerara, and one in Berbice. But there will be a number of mini symposiums, lectures, and literary interactions. This will engage not only persons resident in Guyana, but I'm advised that a significant portion of the work will be carried by our colleagues in the diaspora. We are also hoping, as a legacy of 50 years, to do two important things. One, to recognize the creative artist who has lived and worked in Guyana, and, depending, may very well have migrated overseas. We will try to identify the homes, the living places of these artists, and establish a marker. If it is possible to do that to the home, there will be a plaque. If it's not possible, just on the spot where they once lived will be a marker recognizing the fact that this person lived here one time. The second legacy project will be an attempt to create a creative artist spot. And we are hoping that this will be possible to effect in the national parks. Talks are ongoing, but nothing is as yet final. There will be a number of exhibitions, I mentioned that before, but one I think we ought to mention is that there will be an exhibition of iconic women who have contributed to the independence movement of Guyana. This exhibition will be held at the Arthur Chung Conference Center and will be opened on the 23rd of May. The last activity I would like to draw to your attention is a digital tent. The digital tent is, as described, a digital facility on which we can view, I would like to say, all the publications, literary publications of Guyanese. But we did not have time, and I do not think we will have all of them. But it will be possible for you to tap in digitally and to go through the publications of Guyanese. We are hoping to have as many of the publications as possible. All you need is Wi-Fi. You'll be given an address, you tap in, and you peruse the publication. We are hoping that this one will go very well. I think that sums up most of what we have on offer.
My task is to touch two of what we consider the major activities that are being put on by the Department of Culture, Youth and Sport. And those activities are the flag raising ceremony on the 25th and then the Jubilee Parade on the 26th. We all are aware of our new site that we have, Durban Park. And both activities, to a large extent, are being held right at Durban Park. The actual flag-raising ceremony will be there on the 25th. And of course, our parade will end there on the 26th. But for the flag-raising ceremony, yes, it will be somewhat similar, but not the same, to our normal flag-raising ceremonies. There will be cultural activities that will involve song, music, dance, and those activities will take place prior to the arrival of the Excellencies, the Prime Minister and the President. And those activities will feature mass presentations. As you are aware, the stage is really that big area that the military normally parades on at the square. And that is roughly about 560 feet by 212 feet, somewhere in that vicinity. So what we recognize for activities to be there, and we're talking about catering for the 20,000+ people who we expect to be there, we'll have to put in mass activities on the ground there. So you'll be having displays involving at the same time the youth choir. We're having a 100-piece youth choir. We'll be having the National Steel Orchestra, 100+ strong, and then we'll have performances by different groups using patriotic songs, and their performances, like I said, will be accompanied by the choir and the band. So there will be a minimum of 5 major performances from that. After the arrival of His Excellency, the Prime Minister comes about 5 to 11, the President at 11. Then we will have a special patriotic presentation by the choir for His Excellency, and then we move into the military aspect of the parade, which will involve joint bands display, that is the police force and GDF combined to do displays. Then we will have the military drill display, and of course we move into prayers, raising of the flag, the pledge, after which we'll have Guyana the Free, our national anthem. The parade moves off the square, and the night ends with fireworks display. That is a brief idea of what will happen for that, the flag raising ceremony. For the parade, and like it is, we are back to back at the same venue. However, 26th, we're looking at our 10 o'clock start, at our usual starting point. We're looking at church and camp. I think that might surprise some people, because there was lots of thought put into way the route. However, we will not be going east. We'll be coming west. So we'll proceed along Church to Avenue of the Republic. Then you make a left on Avenue of the Republic, going south to Brickdam. And then you turn east into Brickdam, and you go up and to go into the Durban Park. where we'll be having the final set of judging. And then you will exit Durban Park through the easternmost bridge that is down at the end there. And then you proceed east along Homestretch Avenue, and there you can disband either by Cultural Center or anywhere along there. Now, that's the route that we will be working with for our parade. We are looking to have our parade, Dr. Roth will tell you a little bit more about the concept and so on, the parade. But our parade is based around the basic theme for what we have is to reflect, celebrate, inspire. Reflect where we can look at the 50 years, where we came from, our achievements, the problems or challenges we would have passed through. Our celebration, of course, is our birth anniversary, and we're going to be celebrating, and of course, inspiration going into the future. Registration is still open. We've had a number of requests for registration forms. All have not been returned yet, so I cannot say at the moment how many bands we'll have on the road. However, I will project, I may want to project. It will be over 35. We're aiming for 50. That is where we're aiming for. But as things go on, you know, lots of groups keep coming in and expressing an interest in terms of it. It's a costume band and float parade, and that is something we need to reflect on and people to know it's costume band and float parade. But what I'll do now, the artistic director, Dr. Roth, I will invite her now and she can tell you more about our expected portrayals for the parade.
From an artistic perspective, designers, companies, ministries, regional representatives, and other participating entities are looking at the 5 decades from different perspectives. Of course, under the theme, reflect, celebrate, and inspire. So they're looking at the persons who were the major movers and shakers within the particular decade. They're looking at the highlights, the news highlights, the major achievements, whether as a nation, as a company, as a region, as a ministry within that decade. Some of the participants are looking from the perspective of their own companies within the decade that they would have had major achievements. So they're selecting particular decade, either 1 decade or 2 decades. There are companies that are reflecting over the entire 5 decades. So we have had major participation in terms of throwing ideas around, deciding where they will go, how they will go. The entire float parade, we are trying to achieve an international standard in terms of, from an artistic perspective, how we look, how we prepare the costumes, the final output of the costumes, the materials and everything. We are also looking at using maximum materials found right in Guyana, all Guyanese music, and of course, the concepts would be all Guyana.
The reason we're having this press conference or press briefing is really, thank you. It's really to heighten and sensitize all of us as we get closer to the actual date itself, which is the 26th of May. Tomorrow, as all of us know, is 50 to 50. 50 days to the 50th. That being said, it's real countdown time. And so the activities that you know, was all spoken to before I came up here this morning will be centered around the theme of reflection, celebration, and inspiration. We certainly need to reflect on the journey for the last 50 years. Very importantly, we need to celebrate. And so we have some events, Some are celebratory in nature, such as the mega concerts that Mr. Jones spoke to. There are also academic stuff, which was spoken to by Dr. Rose. Activities in the area of youth, which was addressed by Ms. Frank. And then we heard of two of the more major events, which are the flag raising and the float parade. I'm certain you all are familiar with the entire calendar of events which we have been circulating, and I would appreciate if you can pick up a copy before you leave here if you've not already done so. As it relates to a question that I sat and I listened to being posed here this morning, why are we not hearing local music on our airways? It's a question that I would like the entertainment industry to provide that response. It must be driven from the sector. We have been appealing and we will continue to appeal. We've asked persons to, one, to decorate your buildings, even if it is with one simple flag. This celebration belongs to all of us. While we are coordinating this activity at the central level, it is the responsibility of all Guyanese to ensure that there is national pride in what we do, and that this event be given its grandeur, its magnitude, and its significance. We can appeal to you, we can advocate, we can request of you, but guess what? It must come from that sector itself. All Guyanese can wear, things that will resonate with the occasion. For instance, you can wear clothes that are of national colors, clothes that are branded. People are very creative, and we're also supporting people's creativity. Yesterday, I distributed to ministries and regions the logos to be included as part of their decoration of not only their buildings, but stickers to put on vehicles, things to decorate, whether it's boats or whatever it is that particular region had an interest in. We've completed distribution of those items to 7 out of 10 regions, because this is a national event. This is not a Georgetown activity. So flag raising will be happening in all 10 regions. Each region will have a signature event. Each region currently has in place a working group that is working towards the execution of that region plan, which is specific to that region. And I want to urge all of us, as we reflect and as we celebrate, let us not miss the opportunity to inspire our young people to dream bigger and reach higher